You're the one. You are the only reason.
You're the one. We take pride in pleasing.
You're why a McDonald's fry is crisp and golden brown. You're what they're famous for. Why, they're the best French fries in town.
Kroc was born on October 5, 1902, in Oak Park. By the time he was a teenager, he had no patience for school, so he had to quit to take a job as a salesperson for Lily Tulip Cup Corporation. He was a natural, young, ambitious, and willing to work hard for long hours. Kroc quickly became the company's top salesperson. In the course of selling cups, Kroc met Old Prince, a client who had invented a 5-spindle milkshake mixing machine called a multi-mixer. As Kroc approached his 50th birthday, however, sales began to drop. During the early 1950s, people were leaving the cities because of World War II, forcing many neighborhood soda fountains to close. Ray was losing customers by the dozen. He even had to mortgage his house. But one small restaurant in San Bernardino, California, ordered 8 machines. Kroc left for California to see for himself what kind of restaurant needs 40 milkshakes at a time. There he found a small burger stand run by 2 brothers, Dick and Mc. Kroc's ambitions for the restaurant eclipsed those of the McDonald brothers. In 1955, Kroc became president of the McDonald Corporation. He bought out the owners entirely 6 years later. In 1977, after leading McDonald's past rival Burger King, Kroc assigned himself to the role of senior chairman. Kroc built the McDonald's system on the simple but fundamental philosophy that everyone would profit or no one would. For this reason, he established a system that put operator profits first. Only by ensuring operator profitability would the system succeed. In contrast to other franchisors of the time, Kroc charged no markup for supplies and equipment. He sold everything at a cost. He applied the same philosophy to his suppliers. This faith in letting others prosper first cost McDonald dearly in the early years, but it paid off handsomely in the end. Under Kroc's ownership, McDonald retained some of the original characters while incorporating new elements. Kroc kept the assembly line approach to hamburger preparation that the McDonald brothers pioneered in the 1940s. Now firmly in control of the organization, Kroc started investing heavily in marketing, unveiling a new company mascot named Ronald McDonald in 1963. By 1965, he had opened more than 700 restaurants in 44 states. He then began opening McDonald's overseas, tailoring his fast food menu to incorporate elements of local cuisine. Ray Kroc built his business by selecting the right person at the right time. He nurtured his employees. These innovations contributed to the success of McDonald's brand on the global scale. Luck is a dividend of sweat, he said. The more you sweat, the luckier you get. Kroc established rules for how McDonald's restaurants were to operate. He demanded that every restaurant offer quality service and cleanliness. People who get a franchise must complete a training program at Hamburger University where they learn how to cook and serve the food and how to keep the building clean. He said, "If you have the time to lean, you have the time to clean." Despite his hard work, Kroc was never always a lucky man. From his early days in the starting of McDonald's to even after the chain was a complete, well-established global presence, Kroc experienced his fair share of failure. During his time as an ambulance driver for the Red Cross towards the end of World War I, Kroc met a fellow young and ambitious entrepreneur by the name of Walt Disney. When Kroc first began selling McDonald's franchises around the country, he remembered Disney and reminded him about their friendship by sending a letter and asking to open a shop inside Disneyland. However, for some reasons, he couldn't receive a reply from Disney. Kroc could have been disheartened and lost faith in his goals. Instead, Kroc chose to remain determined and continued approaching other franchisors across the country. Ray Kroc died of heart failure at Scripps Memorial Hospital in San Diego, California on July 14, 1984. He was 81 years old. By the time of his death, McDonald had 7,500 locations in 31 countries and was worth $8 billion.
After Kroc and the brothers started teaming up to start franchising the company, they created a very one-sided contract that left Kroc with no profits when he was doing all the work, and the brothers with most of the profits without doing any work. The brothers went on to build a fair amount of stores and started raking in the money. But Ray wasn't too happy. He was hungrier than ever before now that he tasted success. So he used all the money he made, $2.7 million, to buy out the two brothers in a bid to franchise the business everywhere he could. Ray discovered that the way business should work should be almost like an assembly line, that he could work quicker and serve more customers. He was right. His technique meant no customers would go from being served to having their order in their mouth in more than 5 minutes, hence the phrase fast food. By the time of his death, Ray Kroc built an empire of more than 10,000 stores globally, and that number has grown to 31,000 today. McDonald's currently makes $23 billion each year. What an achievement for someone who started out selling paper cups. One of Ray Kroc's biggest controversy over the years was the moment he bought McDonald's from the two brothers who started it. After he bought the business, he built a restaurant near the brothers' last diner, which made them god of the fast food business forever. After this act, many people in the business world saw Ray Kroc as a ruthless man that stole the two brothers' dream of making a successful fast food chain. The outcome of the controversy was that Ray turned the dying business into a worldwide fast food chain, something the two brothers could never have pulled off without Ray Kroc himself. Also, during the filming of Kroc's upcoming movie, the two brothers are compared to the Winklevoss brothers that said Mark Zuckerberg stole their idea about Facebook, which mirrors Kroc and the McDonald's. I consider Kroc to be an inspiring leader because he was successful in everything he did after he purchased McDonald's. What made him and his company so successful? According to him, the two most important requirements for major success are first, being in the right place at the right time, and second, doing something about it. The second part of his formula, doing something about it, or executing, is the real key lesson. I've heard a saying once that adjoins the Kroc's thinking and seems to be a commonality among many successful people I know. Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. This thought is the basis for the following 10 guiding principles Ray Kroc lived by, which allowed him to successfully build the McDonald's business foundation and future.